Library of Heaven's Path. Chapter 37, Big Sister Spare Me. Zhang Xuan. Shen Bairu tried to break through Shangbin's blockade to save him, but she was knocked back consecutive times. Shangbin's cultivation was on the same level as her. He might be spoiled due to his powerful backing, but his strength wasn't false. Even if she possessed the strength to defeat him, she was still unable to break through his blockade within a short period of time, especially if he chose to execute only defensive maneuvers. I am the one who brought harm to you. Seeing how she was unable to save him, Shen Bairu was filled with guilt. She thought that the reason why Shangbin was dealing with this fellow who was the last for the teacher qualification examination was because of her. Otherwise, as someone of such high standing and the grandson of an elder towards an infamous trash who had no background whatsoever, when there's no connection between the two, why would there be a grudge between them? Yet, after pulling him down into the mud, she was unable to save him. The guilt she was experiencing at the moment tormented her painfully. Why are there no movements? Could it be that Zhang Xuan has already died? The more panicked she got, the more incapable she was of breaking through Shangbin's blockade. With Shangbin blocking her sight, she was unable to view the situation over at Zhang Xuan's side. She could only hear complete silence in the surroundings, as though he didn't even struggle against the assault of the sky-shattering lion. There could only be one possibility. Before Zhang Xuan could retaliate, he was already smacked to death by the sky-shattering lion. After all, even she was unable to withstand a single blow from the Tier 6 savage beast, which was equivalent to a Pig's realm expert. Haha, he is already dead. It is too late for you to make a move now. Hearing that there were no movements behind him, Shangbin's eyes lit up. He knew that the trash would definitely be unable to withstand a single blow from the sky-shattering lion. He laughed heartily out of excitement. Judging that there was no need to block Shen Bairu any longer, he leapt aside. Zhang Xuan. The moment Shangbin leapt away, Shen Bairu didn't waste time on him and hurriedly rushed forward. Just when she thought she would see a pool of fresh blood with a miserable corpse lying in the center of it, her slim figure suddenly froze and she stared in a daze. This. What happened? Initially, Shangbin thought that his goddess would burst into tears from the shock of the sight. However, upon seeing such an expression hanging on her face, Shangbin quickly turned around to take a look. With a single glimpse, his eyeballs widened into huge circles, and he almost fainted from overwhelming astonishment. He saw the incomparably ferocious sky-shattering lion, which had rushed towards Zhang Xuan earlier to rip him into numerous shreds before, lying in front of Zhang Xuan like a pug, licking his hands. Zhang Xuan's other hand was stroking the head and ears of the sky-shattering lion, and unspeakable pleasure appeared on the latter's face. The heck? What happened? Shangbin was on the verge of tears. This sky-shattering lion was his grandfather's beast pet and it was extremely proud. Even for Shangbin himself, just a simple touch would incur its fury, not to mention stroking its head. After taking possession of it from his grandfather, he had spent half a day of effort on it, feeding it numerous delicacies. Yet, this fellow didn't even show the slightest bit of gratitude, disregarding his presence as he pleased. Such a proud fellow became a pug before Zhang Xuan? You are here to kill him. To be lying before him and licking his palm, is this really all right? Shangbin felt a dizziness spell working up, and he was on the verge of going crazy. Sky-shattering lion, what are you doing? Quickly kill him! He bellowed. The sky-shattering lion didn't move. It continued to laze around, allowing Zhang Xuan to stroke its head freely. You! Quickly kill him! If you do it, I will buy you anything you want to eat from now on, Shangbin roared anxiously. So noisy, make him shut up. Zhang Xuan, who was stroking the sky-shattering lion, stood up and waved his hand. Roar! The sky-shattering lion stood up as well and glared at Shangbin savagely. What are you planning to do? Frightened, Shangbin immediately retreated several steps. However, before he could get far, the sky-shattering lion dashed forward and took a sweep at him lightly with its paws. Peng! Before Shangbin could react, he was sent flying backwards like a kite that had its string snapped. His head knocked onto a giant tree and crimson blood filled his entire face. What exactly happened? You are my grandfather's beast pet, Shangbin cried. This sky-shattering lion was the beast pet that his grandfather passed on to him to protect him. Logically, it should have listened to his words to deal with the outsider. Why did it listen to the words of an outsider to attack him? Peng! Before he could finish crying, another figure crashed onto the ground in front of him. He was Cao Xiang. When that fellow noticed the situation turning awry, he immediately turned around to flee. However, how could he possibly escape from the sky-shattering lion, a tier 6 savage beast? He was sent flying back with a slap. Roar! After sending these two flying, the sky-shattering lion looked as though it had done something glorious. It walked over to Zhang Xuan with a flattering look, as though it wanted to be acknowledged for its accomplishment. Not bad. You did well. Zhang Xuan patted its head. Roar! The sky-shattering lion nodded its head quickly. It walked gallantly to the two lying on the floor, keeping a watch on them with a proud look, reminiscent of a responsible watchdog. Shangbin and Cao Xiang, who were planning to escape, were on the verge of tears. Zhang Xuan. You. How did you do that? Spectating the entire flow of events by the side, the dumbstruck TellBrary finally recovered and gazed at him curiously. How did I do it? Zhang Xuan scratched his head. This sky-shattering lion is very easy to communicate with. Perhaps, it might be because I am more handsome. Handsome? TellBrary blinked and her slim figure staggered. The sky-shattering lion is a savage beast. To it, the term handsome should only be applicable to male sky-shattering lions, so what do you being handsome or not have to do with it? Besides, if one must talk about handsomeness, Shangbin is much more dashing than you. All right. Farewell. Zhang Xuan didn't continue explaining and turned around to leave. Since the Library of Heaven's path could peer into the weaknesses of a human, naturally, it could peer into those of the sky-shattering lion as well. This fellow might seem extremely powerful, but in actuality, it had sustained quite a few hidden traumas. Otherwise, it couldn't have possibly willingly served as Elder Shang Chen's beast pet. The library had detected the flaws of it. Making use of it, Zhang Xuan casually solved some of the easier ones for it. As a result, the sky-shattering lion chose to obey his commands obediently without the slightest hesitation. In comparison to Shangbin's promise, no amount of delicious food and pills could compare with a resolved hidden trauma. Of course, this involved his secret as well, so he couldn't possibly reveal the truth to TellBrary. You. Don't go, you haven't explained the reason why the sky-shattering lion obeyed to your commands. Seeing him leave, TellBrary quickly caught up. The more she came into contact with this young man, the more formidable she found him to be. He was a mystery that was becoming more and more difficult to comprehend. Being able to read so many books just by flipping through them, intentionally scoring a 0 in the teacher qualification examinations despite knowing the answers, realizing his identity as a gourmet through a meal and convincing a tier 6 savage beast to follow his commands easily. What seemed impossible in the eyes of others was accomplished so simply by this young man, leaving others staring in disbelief. How did he accomplish all these? TellBrary was becoming more and more curious about this young man before her. Big sister. Oblivious to what she was thinking of, upon seeing her chasing him, Zhang Xuan halted his footsteps and said helplessly, I want to live a long life. I'm afraid that I might not live to the next day being beside you. Just spare me. Big sister? You are the big sister. Your entire family is big sisters. Shen Bairu's face turned bright red. She was a beauty. She might be slightly older than Zhang Xuan, but she looked no different from a 17 or 18-year-old. Yet, this fellow addressed her as big sister, thus causing her to go into a frenzy. Fine, I am the big sister. So, just let me leave. Zhang Xuan shook his head in frustration. PFT. Upon hearing Zhang Xuan claim that he was the big sister, Shen Bairu chuckled and said, Fine, you can leave. I will look for you tomorrow. Zhang Xuan.